What's going on, guys? This is Gene Jensen, and this is a Tackle Tuesday, and I'm going to talk about some of my favorite bed fishing baits. All right, so it's that time of year again. The bass are spawning, or about right here, they're about to spawn. We're right at 60-degree water temperature. Once it gets up, starts to trend back up into some warmer water, they'll move up and they'll start spawning. So I want to talk about some baits, and I grabbed a bunch of them. Really, honestly, you can throw just about anything at a spawning fish, and eventually they're going to bite. But I'm going to break this down into a technique, into the favorite baits, or some of the baits that I use or would use if I was bed fishing. I'm at that point now where I don't really do it much. I'd rather catch the fish offshore. But like I said, I just grabbed some baits. We're just going to show them to you. All right, so number one, the goal is when you are bed fishing is to just basically piss them off and really get them to where they're aggressively guarding that bed. And what you're trying to accomplish is you want that bass to come back to the bed fast after you've already pushed it off, and you want to get it to where it's doing donuts and spinning on your bait and flaring at it, and eventually it's going to pick it up and swim off with it. And some of the best ways I do is I start off with a big bait, something that really gets in the middle of their bed and really ticks them off. And I'm not trying to catch them at first. I'm just trying to get them to the point where they're biting it and carrying it off the bed. Okay, so I start off with a big old Magnum lizard. This is a Zoom Magnum lizard. Now this video is going to seem like a Zoom commercial because most of the baits I use are ones I've been using for years, and I've been using Zoom for years. So it's not a Zoom commercial. I'm not sponsored by them, but I am going to link all of the links to all of these baits in the description, so you can run to Tackle Warehouse and get some if you don't have any. So a Zoom Magnum lizard is one of the things, and I'll drag it through. I'll Texas rig it, with a little something like a 1/4 ounce or a 5/16 ounce tungsten weight. Put it on an offset worm hook or a EWG, and just drag it through that bed. And like I said, what they're going to do is they're going to grab the tail and they're going to carry it off. They're not going to get the hook in their mouth. But once you get them to that point, then you can pretty much throw anything at them and probably get them to bite. So my follow-up baits are a couple different things. One is this thing right here. Okay, this is what is it? Hold on, let me find the bag. It's a missile bait D-bomb, and I always forget the name of it for some reason. But if you look closely, is it focusing, Jordan? Yep. Okay, if you look closely, and I've already showed this once, I think, but you got these little ribs, and these ribs catch air. You throw it into that bed and slowly drag it in there, and when that bass comes and noses down on that bed, and you see him nosing down, just shake it just a little bit, and those air bubbles will come out and they'll get in his face, and 9 times out of 10 he's going to flare up and grab the bait. So that's why I love using something like that. But that's, like I said, once you get them to the point where they're really aggressive and they're biting, and you use one of those, something really big, then you can go ahead and throw that kind of stuff at them. Another one of my little tricks is this color right here. This is a Zoom trick worm. This is in banana seed. This is just trick worm in yellow, and a lizard in banana seed. And I have a smaller lizard, and I'll use a bigger hook so they'll actually grab the hook with these lizards. But I don't know what it is about this color, and I said that with my crankbaits too. This color yellow, when they're spawning or getting ready to spawn, really they get really aggressive on it for some reason. So that's one of the things I do. One of the tricks that I do, and I haven't done it yet, is get you 2 red bug. No, they're not red bug. What color are they? Tomato. Yeah, tomato. 2 tomato trick worms, and put in here and kind of mix them up and let them sit there for about 2 or 3 weeks, and it'll give you red lines across it. The other thing you can do is get blood red JJ's Magic and just kind of paint lines on them, just kind of haphazardly paint lines, and for some reason that really does seem to help a lot of times. Another thing that I will throw along with that Missile Baits D-bomb, this one is critical because you really don't want a whole lot of action. You just want the tails to be able to kick up. This is the new 13 Fishing Invader, and the way I'm going to rig it is I'm going to get a stand-up jig head. So I've got 2 different ones. I think this is called the Warlock by Missile Baits, and when it lands, it stands up. And this is the Buckeye Lures spot remover. Now, this is your regular spot remover, and I don't have any in my box right now, but get the Magnums. And like I said, I'll link down in the description, but get the Magnum ones that have the heavy heavy hook, because you're going to be using heavy line. But you take and you put that thing, you push that thing on there. I think the Magnums have screw locks. But you just rig it like this, and when it lands straight up and down, and then these claws just stand up and just wave at the bass. And I hop it through the bed, and I actually will bump the fish and try to get him really aggressive. But the Invader is a good little compact deal, and it's small enough to when the bass grab it, and you see them flare their gills and grab your bait, you don't have to think or hope that they have the hook in their mouth. They're going to have the hook in their mouth. Just set the hook and get your fish. But the Invader is an amazing bait. I love it because it's really, really tough, soft plastic, and so you can catch multiple fish with it. Another thing you always hear about when people are fishing for bedding fish is a white bait. And I just only have one type of white bait in my boat right now. This is a Ultra Vibe Speed Craw and White Pearl. And all this is any little flipping bait will work. You Texas rig it, throw it in, throw it in or put it on jig head, throw it in the bed so you can see it. You can see where the bait is located in the bed. I don't like to use white because I typically can pretty much guess what's going on. But white is for guys who really want to see their bait, and it still will tick off the bass. But I'm going to tell you a secret, a little trick, that when I use white, I get that blood red JJ's Magic, and I dip the head of it in the JJ's Magic, only about to the second rib or about the first ½ inch. Dip it in there and then put it on the hook, and they will annihilate it. I learned this several years ago. My father-in-law and I were fishing, and we had this fish totally turned on, but it would not bite. It would not bite. It would not bite. So I took his jig and I dipped it in some blood red JJ's. We threw it back out there. First cast, ka-tonk, and he caught the fish, and it was about a 5.5 pounder. So that was pretty cool. Another thing you always hear is Senkos, which work really good, a wacky rig Senko. But I like to really downsize. This is the Ned Ocho by Strike King, and you just wacky rig it, and you just work it through the bed really slow, shake it, do whatever you need to do to get the fish to bite. But I like to let it lay down in the bed, and it's weightless, and just kind of shake it and shake it and shake it on a slack line, and they'll go over and pick it up. It doesn't look like it's very harmful or anything else. They just want it out of their bed, and a lot of times they go pick it up. This next one is a new bait, and yeah, you can use it for bed fishing, but I just wanted to show it to you. I picked it up at the Bassmasters Classic, and it's the Missile Baits Quiver 6.5, and I don't know why I have so many missile baits. Just one of those things where I've picked them up over the time, and this one actually is a brand new one that John Cruz just brought out. But it's I'm gonna Nico rig this thing in the bed, and you just put a worm weight here, wacky rig it, and just bounce it through the bed, and I bet you money that they'll grab it. But I just wanted to show that to you. It's kind of a cool little new bait that I picked up at the Classic. The biggest thing to do is to one, be patient. If you pull up on a bed and that bass or those two bass swim off and they don't come back for a minute or longer, leave. Go somewhere else. They're going to be almost impossible to catch. It's going to take you an hour or an hour and a half to catch them. So if you pull up on a bed and bump the bass off and they swim right back to the bed within a few seconds, dude, they're catchable. So stop, anchor down, and go fish for them. I'm going to leave a link in the description, or a link right up here, to where you guys can go watch a video about how to bed fish that I made several years ago, and it still holds true today. All of the little techniques are exactly the way I would do it every single time I approached a bed. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoyed my Tackle Tuesdays. If you like them, let me know down in the description. Hit the like button, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't subscribed. So like I always say, be sure to introduce somebody to fishing. Introduce them to my channel. Let me help you teach them how to fish. More importantly, get out on the water, go out, catch some fish, and have a great day. We'll see you.